Welcome to Psychology Decode Mind, where thoughts are weapons, silence is strategy, and the mind is the battlefield. This is not just psychology. This is power decoded. Remember, in a world full of noise, the one who controls the mind controls everything.
Want to understand human stupidity? Watch this now. A Machiavellian tale of power, propaganda, and psychological warfare. Prologue: the greatest trick. Human stupidity was never just an accident. It was a design, a weapon, a currency. While the masses laughed, cried, consumed, and obeyed, a few watched silently, calculating every emotional outburst, every tribal allegiance, and every irrational belief like chess moves on a global board. And at the center of it all was a man. Not a ruler, not a soldier, not even a king, just a writer with venom in his pen and fire in his mind. His name, Niccolò Machiavelli. They called him evil. They called him a traitor. But the truth? He simply understood how stupid people were and how dangerous that stupidity could be in the wrong hands. From the moment humans learned to speak, they learned to lie. Language became less about truth, more about control. The first kings didn't rule with swords. They ruled with stories. Stories that said the gods chose them. Stories that said obedience was holy. Stories that turned questions into sins. And it worked. Why? Because people wanted to believe, not because it was true, but because truth was complicated and stupidity was comforting. It's easier to kneel than to think. Machiavelli saw this, and he didn't flinch. He wrote, "It is better to be feared than loved if you cannot be both." Because he knew love was emotional, and emotion was fragile. But fear lasts. Look around as people fight over flags they didn't design, worship books they haven't read, die for ideas they can't explain, trust leaders who openly lie as long as those lies confirm their biases. That's not just ignorance, that's weaponized stupidity. Machiavelli knew the formula: emotion plus repetition equals reality. If you can make people feel strongly and repeat the message endlessly, you don't need facts. You just need volume. So rulers stopped debating. They started shouting, and people mistook volume for truth. People don't crave truth. They crave certainty. That's why propaganda works. That's why cults thrive. That's why stupid ideas survive generations, because truth evolves. But stupidity? Stupidity is immortal, as long as it's packaged beautifully. Machiavelli wrote, "The prince not to inspire tyrants, but to expose them." Yet, the stupid saw it as a manual, not a mirror. The wise were horrified. The powerful were thrilled. And so began the global trade of ignorance. Schools taught obedience. Media taught fear. Religion taught guilt. Politics taught division. All while the masses clapped, calling their chains freedom. Ask yourself, why does society reward mediocrity and punish originality? Because stupid people are predictable, and predictability is profitable. They buy trends. They vote emotionally. They believe the loudest voice. They defend their oppressors. A system that breeds stupidity breeds control. Machiavelli wasn't heartless. He was honest. He wrote that people don't want freedom. They want security. So the clever give them security, but at a price: their minds. A wise ruler, he said, must learn how not to be good. Not because cruelty is strength, but because kindness is exploited in a stupid world. Turn on the news. Scroll social media. Walk into a crowd. You'll see a carnival of fools dancing to music they didn't compose. They rage over issues they barely understand. They parrot slogans without context. They think being loud equals being right. Machiavelli predicted this madness. He warned of mob mentality, the point where individuals stop thinking and start following. Because nothing is more terrifying than a crowd that believes it's righteous. You can't argue with it. You can't reason with it. You can only manipulate it or be crushed by it. And the smart ones, they stay quiet. They watch and they pull strings. In a world that worships noise, silence is rebellion. Machiavelli taught that the strongest move is often the one not taken. The sharpest weapon is patience. Let the fools destroy each other. Let the emotional burn out. Let the loud be exposed by time. Because stupidity is impatient. It wants victory now, and it dies by its own urgency. The lion protects the fox, he wrote, but it's the fox who wins. Democracy, the crown jewel of the modern world, but even that can be hijacked by stupidity. How? Simple. Make the people believe they're in control, while feeding them only the choices you allow. Let them argue red versus blue, left versus right, while the real rulers sit above it all, untouched, unfazed, unseen. Machiavelli saw through the illusion. He knew power doesn't lie in the vote, it lies in the narrative. Whoever controls the story controls the system. And stupid people, they never question the story. They just pick a side and fight to the death. Every era eventually produces its own idiot king, a leader so absurd, so transparent, so deeply unqualified, yet somehow worshipped. Why? Because he speaks in simple lies. Because he makes the stupid feel smart. Because he makes the weak feel powerful. This isn't new. Machiavelli watched princes rise and fall for centuries. He saw that truth doesn't win elections. Fear does. And stupidity is the perfect weapon of fear. An idiot king isn't a glitch. He's a mirror. He reflects the collective ignorance of a people who stopped thinking and started following. In a stupid society, the most dangerous act is thinking. Doubting the news makes you a conspiracy theorist. Critiquing your country makes you unpatriotic. Challenging trends makes you toxic. Remaining silent makes you guilty. It's no longer about what you say, but how easily you're offended. Machiavelli warned about this. The wise man must learn to act like others, while not becoming like them. Stupidity now wears a mask called morality. And behind it, it silences anyone who dares to think differently. The ultimate betrayal. But here's the real tragedy. It's not the rulers who betray the people. It's the people who betray themselves. Every time they trade critical thinking for emotional comfort. Every time they silence dissent. Every time they reward simplicity and punish complexity. They choose stupidity because it's easier. Machiavelli never blamed the tyrants. He blamed the sheep. Men are so simple, he said, that one who deceives will always find those who allow themselves to be deceived. Is there a cure? Maybe, but it won't come from leaders, not from politics, not from revolutions. It starts with the individual, with the person who dares to ask, what if I'm wrong? Who benefits from my beliefs? Am I free or just distracted? Is my comfort worth the cost of my mind? Because stupidity isn't permanent. It's a choice, one we make every day, in what we consume, what we ignore, and what we defend. Machiavelli's ghost still whispers, if you want to rule the world, feed their stupidity. If you want to free it, destroy it. Epilogue. Watch this now, before it's too late. This isn't just a video. This isn't just a story. It's a mirror. The question is, do you see yourself in it? Or are you still too comfortable to care? The 5 laws of human stupidity. Why it's more dangerous than you think. The Italian economic historian Carlo M. Cipolla had a theory. 5 unshakable laws that explain why human stupidity is not only inevitable, but is the single most powerful force shaping our destiny. These aren't just ideas. They're like the laws of gravity. Whether you believe them or not, they affect you every day. Law 1. Stupidity is more common than you think. Always and inevitably, everyone underestimates the number of stupid individuals in circulation. We like to think of stupidity as rare, an exception. The truth? It's everywhere. If you're American, think about the last time you drove on a freeway. How many drivers seemed like they had a death wish? Now multiply that level of irrationality by politics, business, and social media. That's the real number of stupid people you encounter daily. Cipolla warns, we always underestimate their numbers. Why? Because stupidity doesn't care about education, wealth, or status. The CEO making a reckless billion-dollar gamble, the senator tweeting a scandal into existence, the influencer promoting dangerous health advice. They might be stupid and yet occupy positions of enormous influence. Real U.S. example, 2008 financial crisis. We love to point fingers at greed. But many of the catastrophic mortgage-backed securities decisions weren't just malicious. They were mind-bendingly stupid, made by people with Ivy League degrees and million-dollar bonuses. The first law tells us you're surrounded. Act accordingly. Law 2, stupidity is independent of other traits. The probability that a certain person is stupid is independent of any other characteristic of that person. We assume smart-looking people must be intelligent. Cipolla destroys this myth. Stupidity is like a virus. It infects everyone equally, rich, poor, left, right, educated, uneducated. Nobody is immune. In the U.S., we've seen world-class scientists deny basic facts when it doesn't fit their personal biases. We've seen celebrities with massive platforms spread harmful myths about medicine or history. This independence is dangerous because it means you cannot predict stupidity from credentials. You must always test ideas on their merit, not on the status of the person presenting them. Law 3, the most dangerous type of person. A stupid person is a person who causes losses to another person or group while deriving no gain and even possibly incurring losses themselves. This is where Cipolla hits hard. The stupid aren't just harmless fools. They actively create chaos, sometimes even to their own detriment. Example, a man refuses to evacuate during a hurricane because he doesn't believe the warnings. Then emergency workers must risk their lives to save him. He gains nothing, loses his home, and endangers others. Or think about political brinkmanship in Washington, D.C., where a faction might cause an economic shutdown that hurts the entire nation, including their own voters, just to make a point. Evil at least follows a rational self-interest. Stupidity? It's pure entropy. Law 4. Stupidity is the most dangerous force on earth. Non-stupid people always underestimate the damaging power of stupid individuals. If you're a conspiracy theorist, you might believe there's a shadowy cabal running the world. Cipolla would laugh and then terrify you. He'd tell you stupidity is worse than any conspiracy because it's chaotic. You can negotiate with malice. You can plan around greed. But stupidity? It's unpredictable. Case study, the Challenger disaster, 1986. Engineers warned against launching in cold weather, but key decision makers under public pressure ignored the warnings. Result, 7 dead astronauts and a national tragedy. That wasn't sabotage, that was stupidity. Law 5. The stupid person is the most dangerous kind of person. A stupid person is more dangerous than a bandit. A bandit, someone malicious, steals from you, but gains for themselves. You can defend against that. But a stupid person, they'll destroy something valuable without getting anything in return, and you can't reason with them. In the digital age, this law is everywhere. The employee who clicks a phishing email link and compromises an entire corporate network. The social media user who shares a fake story that triggers panic in their community. The tourist who carves their name into a priceless historical monument. You can't bargain with stupidity. You can only defend yourself from it. Cipolla's work isn't just doom and gloom. It's a call to vigilance. Don't assume immunity. Intelligence, education, and common sense are not vaccines. Fact-check everything. Status and confidence mean nothing without truth. Limit exposure. Minimize the damage stupid people can do to your life by not letting them near your critical decisions. Recognize the signs. If someone is causing harm without benefit, walk away. The tragedy of stupidity is that it doesn't know it's stupid. That's why Cipolla's laws remain timeless. In 2025, they might be more relevant than when he wrote them. In a country where one bad decision can go viral in seconds, understanding stupidity might be the most important survival skill you'll ever learn.
If this video sparked something in your mind or gave you a new perspective, make sure to hit the like button and share it with someone who needs to hear this. Tell us in the comments, what part hit you the hardest or made you think twice? And if you're into unraveling the deeper layers of the human mind, don't forget to subscribe to Psychology Decode Mind. More powerful insights are coming your way